Now, the nose cone here is going to come one bit on this transformation. You've got to hold a lot of things into place to get things to fold correctly as well. So like I said, transformation is not all that great on this guy. Oh, I should show. I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way. I have the big hands, little figures. It's hard to keep them out of the way so you can see everything, but there's that little hole here. This landing gear is going to go into that hole. Now it doesn't clip into place. It just basically sets in there. And you really kind of have to maneuver things to get it into place. There we go. It's got this funky little hinge, and it folds down, and then it kind of folds up and down at the same time. And it's kind of hard to see. There's another little hinge there that this whole piece is attached to. There's a lot of funky hinges on this guy. But we're getting there, we're getting there. This becomes his chest. You're just going to flip this part up. And the directions show you to push these two pieces together, although it's been my experience so far that it pretty much does that on its own. But nothing's really going to fit into place on that yet until we do the arms. And this is the part that I absolutely hate on this character. Absolutely hate doing the arms on this character. In fact, I need to bring these forward a little bit more. Now, you split the two pieces in half. There's a lot of flipping and folding going on in here. And let me try to get this so you can see where the problem is. This blue piece and this white piece. There's a lot of flipping up, flipping down, flipping all around. I'm not going into a crimp. I couldn't do that. But anyways, there's not a lot of space in between those two pieces. And basically what ends up happening is you end up reattaching these pretty much constantly while you're trying to transform these arms. Like I said, it is not... I don't know if you can hear, there's another storm going on. It is not very nice. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to transform his arms off camera so you don't have to hear my cussing and all the craziness. And then after I get his arms done, I'll show you the parts that are a problem, and then I'll finish the last bit of the transformation with this piece here. Alright, so we'll see you in a second. Okay, after about 8 or so minutes, I finally have his arms worked out and put in place. Once you get them in place, they look pretty nice. Again, the parts that has trouble, and some of you out there may not have the same trouble that I have with this, but again, because this blue and white piece fits so closely together, the way they want you to flip things up and down and around, this whole piece right here is going to pop off repeatedly. Like I said, some of you might have a slightly different experience, but that has been mine, and that is quite frustrating. But again, I think once you get them done and get them in place, he's looking pretty nice. Now, we got to deal with this bit back here. First thing, I'm just going to lay him down. The tail is going to separate into two separate pieces, if it will cooperate. There we go. Two separate pieces like that. Actually, I should probably flip it around this way, it'll be easier to see. Okay. This piece comes down like that. This piece comes down like that. And then the two sides with the rotors are going to flip in like so. Okay. Now, these fins here, you're just going to flip them down. Okay. And then you're just going to spin this whole piece around like that. Now, oh, I'm sorry. No, I had already done that. Don't spin those around. I forgot. Don't spin them around. Well, you'll spin them around, but I had already spun them prior to doing this part. So I actually had them correct the first time. You want this side where the 7 news facing up. Now, right here you have two little rectangular slots. There's two little bitty rectangular pegs right there. And you're going to bring this up and just clip those two little pegs into that slot. It's a little bit tricky, but you can see there those two little pegs are in the slot. Okay, now this piece you're going to bring down flat against his back. Then you're going to bring this piece right up against his back, like so, creating his little jetpack backpack or whatever. And then he is done and ready. Let me get him kind of posed up again and ready to go. Backpack does make him a little bit back heavy, so it requires a little bit of fiddling to get him to stand up and not want to fall down. And like I said, I've got this one ball joint that does seem to be a little bit loose. So there's still a few of those quality control issues. But it definitely seems like Hasbro's making an effort to fix those. Wow, I think he's a pretty cool looking bot mode. Let's just talk about the bot mode here real quick. Still the colors look very nice. And I have said since we first saw these pictures, this bot mode reminds me a lot of Airraiser from Beast Wars. The bird legs and feet, even on the head sculpt, I don't know if you can see, it's a different color of course, but it's got these little feathered back sections on the sides that seem very reminiscent of Airraiser. I think it looks pretty dynamic even with the 7 news on there. I still think the little backpack looks pretty cool. I mean, it is kibble, but they made it work. He does suffer from jazz hands, and by jazz hands I mean that's it. Very similar to the first live action movie Jazz figure. Basically these side panels just flip in like that, and you got this one little claw right there. So some of you might find that a little disappointing, some of you might not. He does have light piping, and I need to go find my little pin light to try to show the light piping on these figures a little bit more often. He does have weapons. This is probably the one negative of the bot mode. The rotor blades do separate into 2 separate pieces. This one with a little square hole pegs in onto the square peg over here. I'm going to show that to you. However, on that arm, that's what it does. It just flops. So I'm not a big fan of that. This one just clips into that little half circle there. This one actually stays in place, mostly. However, because it just clips in that little half circle there, while it does stay in place and doesn't flop around like the other one, the slightest little nudge will cause it to fall off. So weapons are not just awesome. I'll have to look into a way to maybe fix that. So for the time being, I'll probably be leaving the weapons off. But like I said, it takes a little finagling to get his... Okay, looks like he's going to stand. But still, barring one little loose ball joint on that left leg, he's a pretty dynamic figure. I don't mind the arms. I think the arms look cool. I think they work. Yeah, I highly recommend these guys. I mean, if you can get past the frustrations of the transformation, and if you can get past these things, I think you'll like them. So, anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully this all made sense. This was a weird review because the transformation is weird, and so hopefully it worked out. And again, we'll talk to you later. Bye.